So the question I have for you, and I'm not expecting an out loud answer, is what do you want? What do you want to get out of this class? Now, some of you undoubtedly are here for the class credit. That is unfortunate because this is not the kind of class where I'm just going to give up the credit. I'm going to assume that you're here for the actual learning. And that's how I'm going to teach this class. I'm going to teach this class with the assumption that you're here to actually walk out of here with some understanding of programming, with some skills, which some things you can use in the real world. Programming is infinitely valuable. I don't care if you're an English major, an auto mechanics major, I don't care if you're a computer science major or math, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what job you want to do. This class will provide you with very useful knowledge if you engage with it. So that leads me to this, grades. I hate grades. I think grades are one of the worst things to happen to education. Grades have been proven to have a negative impact on students. If I could disappear grades and credits, I would do it in a heartbeat. Why? Because they're not useful. I'm here to teach you actual learning. Grades are just in the way of that. Grades are what you're going to be distracted by while we're talking about assignments and due dates and things like that. Grades are going to be a distraction for you. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about grades in this class. Now, if I don't give you a grade, I'm going to get fired because that's part of my job. I have to give you a grade. So I'm going to make this as simple and straightforward as possible. Every assignment, there are 18 assignments in the class. Every assignment is worth 10 points. There are 15 sandbox challenges, each worth 1 point. 100% in this class is equal to 180 points. Now, if you're good at math, or if you're paying attention, you will know that 18 times 10 is 180, plus that is 195. That's right. There are more points possible than there are points required to get 100%. The reason for that is because I want you to have some flexibility. If there's an assignment that you get stuck on, or you're like, man, I just am not feeling this one, then skip it. I wouldn't recommend doing that early in the class, but later in the class, when things get a little trickier and a little bit more specialized, that's when you want to play that card, maybe. Or maybe you're a more advanced student who already knows coding and you're just here to sort of touch up, learn Python, whatever. And the sandbox challenges are just sort of beneath you, right? You don't want to do them. You could skip every sandbox challenge, nothing will happen to you, and you can still get 100%. Okay? So the grading scale for this class is just based on points. I don't drop any low scores. I don't curve anything. No, none of that. The less attention we pay to grades, the less they become a factor in our learning. So it's very straightforward. You get 153 points, that's an A. Okay, and so on. That's it. Again, I would do away with them. I will not give you an A, B, C grade on your assignments. I will just give you full credit, or I will say, here's what you need to fix in order to get full credit. You can resubmit assignments an infinite number of times until you understand the concept. My whole job is to make sure that you understand the concept. That's it. If you understand it, you get the points. If you don't, you get another try. I'm trying to get you to learn something, not just judge you on whether you learned it or not. Does that make a sense? Like if I just cruise through the class and give everybody let's say I give everybody 5 points on the assignment and we get to the end of the class, and is that enough to get a passing grade? Sure. Would I want to hire you to program anything for me? Oh, heck no. So I want you to learn the stuff, and I'm going to keep pushing you until you learn the stuff, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to provide you with tips. If you give me code that doesn't work, I'm going to say, here's what you need to fix. because that's how you become a master of something, not just by reading about it and taking a quiz, right? Anybody want to take multiple choice programming exams in here? I sure don't. All that teaches you is how to answer multiple choice questions. So in this class, there's some things I expect from you, and I expect you to treat people with respect, communicate actively and regularly, communicate with me. I want you to challenge yourself. Be patient with technology. If you've been around technology, if you've played with technology, the more you played with technology, the more you realize that technology is out to destroy us all. Technology will fail you at the worst possible times. That's a fact. So be patient. Just be curious. I wonder what's going on with my computer today, rather than throwing it at the wall. I want you to fail powerfully. What does that mean? That means there's no risk of failure in this class unless you just don't show up. That means try something. I think they call it mess around and find out, right? That's what programming is. That's how you learn to be really good at it. You try stuff. If you need to be all like brainy about it, we can call it the scientific method if you want, right? Form a hypothesis, test the hypothesis. It's the same thing. Mess around and find out. Pay attention to what you find out. That's how you learn. So fail powerfully. Remember, I am on your team. Okay? I know in a lot of classes it's like you against the professor. You're trying to get the grade and they're trying to stop you from getting the grade, right? No. This class, it's you and me against the stuff we have to learn. I am on your team. I want you to learn this stuff. I want you to be the best programmers ever. It makes me look good. But also, you're going to have fun. So I'm here to help you. So I think the key here is like, help me help you, right? Just communicate. What do you need? Where are you struggling? How can I help you? And I want you to do your own work. Now, more on this in a little bit. We'll go back to this because doing your own work in programming has some caveats, especially nowadays. But what you can expect from me, I will treat you with dignity and respect. I'm going to provide a great course as much as I'm humanly capable. I will respond to your communication. If you don't hear from me, if you text me or email me or anything, and you don't hear from me pretty soon, within 24 hours, text me again because I didn't receive it, literally. I work really hard to respond to student communication. So if I don't respond, it's probably likely that I didn't get it for whatever reason. I refer back to be patient with technology on that one. If I sense that you need support, and I'm not guaranteeing that I will, but if I sense that you need a little extra support or you got something going on or you're struggling with something, I'll reach out to you. Or maybe I'll ask you after class, or maybe I'll send you an email or something and just say, hey, everything cool? I know that that life is full of really crazy stuff that happens. Statistically speaking, community college students are more likely to have a job or two, care for other people, whether it's kids, grandparents, adults, sisters, brothers, whatever. You're more likely to have really difficult things happen in your life. You're more likely as a population to struggle financially. So all of that to say is life happens. You're going to need support. I want you to succeed in this class. How can we do that? Let's communicate. But if I can help you, then I will. I will do my best every week to come prepared, to bring my A game, to give you a great lesson, and to give you some great knowledge for this class. And finally, I will trust you. I'm not the cheating police, okay? My job is to do my best to make sure that you learn something. If I think you submitted an assignment that's not yours, or you submitted something you didn't even write or you don't understand, I'm just going to reach out and have a conversation with you and say, hey, why don't you tell me about this, or why'd you do this way, or help me understand what you're doing here in this code. Because my job is to make sure you understand stuff, but I'm not here to police you. If you're going to Chat GPT for all your assignments, you're going to be a terrible coder, first of all. You're not going to learn anything, second of all. And so it's kind of pointless to be here. Can you do it? Sure. Yeah. I don't understand why, though, because I'm assuming that you actually want to learn. This is the class schedule. I don't expect you to be able to read this. I can barely see it, and I'm standing right here. This is verbatim in the syllabus. If you scroll all the way down here, this is the due date for every assignment in the class. I work really hard to be very precise about what I'm doing in this class, and that includes my teaching schedule. So this is the schedule that I use, and you can see every single lecture is planned out for the whole semester. What happens if I miss? Well, I may squeeze that lecture into a later time, or I may just tell you to watch the lecture video of that lecture from last semester. But the point is, it's all planned out. So you can plan your life. That's something that's important to me, is having you be able to plan your work time, plan your life accordingly so that you can make room for this class and do what you need to do. So the schedule is there. It's in the syllabus. So how to get an A? Because I know you're still stressing about grades, even though I told you not to. How to get an A? Write as much code as possible. Hit the weights, right? Come to class, stay for the work time. Don't cheat. Keep up with the class, right? Don't get too far behind. That's what that means. If you get really far behind, things will start to snowball for you. If you're caught up, you come to class, you hear what I'm saying, it will build on what you already know. If you're too far behind, what I'm saying in class is going to be like I'm speaking French to you and you don't know French, because you won't have the basic layers to understand what I'm talking about, and it just sort of snowballs in a bad way. So you don't want to get too far behind. And please don't give up on this class without talking to me first. I understand that maybe after you sat here and listened to what the class is about, maybe you think that this class isn't for me. That's fine. But if you're two or 3 weeks down the road and you're like, this class is feeling kind of hard for me, don't give up without talking to me first. I can set you up with additional stuff. There's tutoring available. I can give you additional resources. There's lots of ways to learn how to program. So, and I'm a firm believer that literally anybody can learn if they try.